The high priest could barely contain his fear after the session, his hands shaking, his sweat raining all over his body, a strong headache numbing his vision. "What is it? What did you see?" Admiral Kezat Orke demanded of the shaking priest. "Compose yourself. This is a matter of state security." He screamed, his patients running slow, his subordinates and assistants frightened by the state of their high priest, the beacon of their faith on this world. High priest Ika-Ad was not easily frightened. He had seen the depths of the high realm. Before, where the consciousness of the abstract roamed real and free. Even for a psionic species like his own, amongst the Nirhi, few had managed to reach the level of elevated ascendance as he did. I never imagined. He tried to articulate, still holding his head with his sweaty blue hands, his 14 fingers feeling like Obversian soup. Ika-Ad. "I'm getting really concerned right now. I've never seen you like this," Admiral Orke said, his impatience turning into anxiety. "Sorry, I'm trying to pull myself together," Ika-Ad managed to say, slowly sitting on the floor of the altar of eternity, looking at the idols of the Mother Goddess and her celestials with a sense of loss and dizziness. "Whatever you saw, I see, but your reaction is not something to take lightly," said the Admiral, now trying to empathize with the tired priest by sitting by his side. "And you'd be right," said Ika-Ad, now more or less capable of focusing on the conversation. "I saw not what you did, but surely it couldn't be something you haven't seen before, nothing we couldn't deal with. I wish that were the case. I wish you were right. But the truth of the high realm is indisputable," said the now grieving-looking priest. "How so, Ika-Ad?" "The deities of the high realm have always been something our priesthood could deal with. Even the gods of the other races are within your abilities. Not these ones. These ones are not something I or any other ordained one could deal with." "What do you mean?" "These gods you made me channel. They are like nothing I've ever seen, or even conceived before. Nothing like our celestials of the gods of any other race I have dealt with," said the priest, his face not changing from his concerned state. Ika-Ad knew something was off. Ever since the Admiral brought in the offerings for the ritual, it wasn't so much his psionic senses, but more like a physical feeling, like being watched in the dark, not being able to fathom from where such praying eyes came from. The military laid in front of him a collection of holy artifacts from this species barely. Known gods, 5 holy books, 7 small statues, 4 paintings, and 5 small undetermined amulets, all of them belonging to the cults of different deities from this enigmatic species. The Federal Assembly of Nirhana nations was at the verge of war, with over their reluctance to abandon a system the Nirhi had intention to colonize first. These items were secretly collected after several simultaneous covert operations around trade posts, ships, and cultural and diplomatic institutions of the species. Channeling them was hard. That was already unusual, like if I was not worthy of their presence, the priest explained. With every touch of their holy relics, my grasp onto the high realm was less and less on my control. I was being taken over and detained. I spiraled around in unknown places, cities of gold, silver and gems, ethereal clouds and harmonious music, exotic domains I have never seen other deity possess, even our own mother. Blasphemy. One military aide said, "How could you defile your position like this, insulting the glory of the mother of all? A glory small on par, or rivers of blood and cities of marble," snapped Ika-Ad at the young aide, descending into a frenzy of anxiety. "And erratic anger. I've seen their power, their authority over their children. I've seen the devotion of their kind, lakes and rivers and oceans of blood spilled in their names. The greatest glories and worst of atrocities in service of their own heaven." "Ika-Ad, calm yourself," ordered the Admiral, completely taken back by the sudden outburst of emotions of the famously stoic high priest, his orders unanswered as the prophetic madness continued. "And they saw me. They saw us. our people, and our celestials. Can you believe? The mother herself frightened by their might, their faces of imperium over souls, life, death, and blood. Blood, our blood, they told me. At this point, the admiral knew something went terribly wrong, and ordered his aides to escort the high priest with his own acolytes to be contained and treated. And as the high priest was taken away, a primordial fear of persecution overcame him as he heard the warnings of the inconsolable Ikaad. Leave their children alone, they'll be our doom. Yahweh will burn our cities, Brahman will curse our minds, the Great Spirit will strike. Can't you see? Doom, they told me. Kali will delight in our hearts, Tengri shall feast in our blood. There, children, Admiral, take him out already, Orc uttered in desperation. Their mother Mary warned me, peace or absolute doom. Hear them, Admiral, hear their warning. The Federal Assembly trusted Ikaad. He had never been wrong, although dissent was strong. The covert pressure coming from the military finally guided their decision. By majority, the Assembly voted in favor of withdrawing their claims to the system in favor of the United Nations of Earth. While many doubted the warnings of the High Priest, his vindication would come after humanity was attacked by the scourging. Luraki, the proud empire of enslaving cannibal reptiles, took human diplomacy for weakness, and in a surprise attack glassed their colony in Alpha Centauri, and enslaved, and in some cases ate, the survivors. The ancient and cruel empire of monsters that had survived 1,000 enemies and tribulations finally put to the torch by humanity, thirsty for blood and hungry for retribution. The worlds of the reptiles in ruin, their slaves taking revenge, and their armies crushed by humanity, who sang in praise of their victories to their gods. No one doubted Ikaad ever again, not after all other priests heard the gods of the Luraki, as they screamed in horror and pain at the hands of an unknown enemy, a weeping human lady in white and blue robes being the only image that could be channeled over the screams.